So many people ask me, how do I stop sabotaging my life? And this is something I can also relate to very, very well. My name is Lisa Cheatham. I am a certified life coach and I help you learn to love yourself so you can make radical change and live a life that you love. And today we are talking about a certain skill that will really help you to stop sabotaging. Stop that self-sabotage that every time you make progress keeps coming in and taking you back to square one. Now, I'm not saying you're never going to go back there because, as you know, progress is always a journey. However, this one little knack that I have helped myself to do and also my clients to do is to stop that spiral. It's to regulate that nervous system and no longer go to those sabotaging patterns where you're dysregulated and you're going to coping mechanisms that are not helping you. And don't worry if you do it, there's no shame around it. I can tell you now, every single human on this planet does them. But the difference that I have found that as we start to learn to self-regulate, we can cope with them a lot better and we're far less likely to go to our old sabotaging patterns and really start to feel good and in control of our minds and bodies when things feel out of control in our external world. So, what is nervous system regulation? Well, when we feel dysregulated, it's an imbalance with our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And that can be done by normally an external stimuli and an internal reaction to that. And we become completely like a feeling of out of control, known as our fight or flight. And you'll see me talk about that in other videos, but to keep it simple for this one, it's really a feeling internally of feeling panicky, overwhelmed, really easily frustrated, and so much more internal body symptoms as well, which is just horrible. I don't know if you've ever been feeling that way, but if you do, leave a comment because it is just the worst thing. And today I dropped a video as well about some signs that can actually help you understand whether you're feeling dysregulated. And that's really helpful to know because I actually didn't know until I looked at my daughter. I really just thought, that was just a part of life and, it's all part of being a parent and being frustrated and impatient. And I didn't realize that I was actually becoming very dysregulated through circumstances and then using those to sabotage in my life. And it wasn't until I was trying to teach my daughter to self-regulate that I was like in self-soothe that I thought, maybe I could do with these tools. These are pretty good. And maybe I could use them. So I started noticing my behavior. And I want you guys to do this at home. This is so helpful when you start self-reflecting and become aware of your own behaviors. And you might see, yourself feeling super fatigued. Maybe you're procrastinating on things. Maybe you are feeling like you're paralyzed, like you've got so much to do, but you literally can't get up and actually do it. And it will help you, but you're still not doing it. And then you shame circle yourself, something like that. You might feel really impatient and you might use really unhealthy coping mechanisms, like smoking or drink or drugs or, drama circles or things like that to be able to cope with this feeling inside of being dysregulated because it is that uncomfortable to our body. Our body's saying we're not safe, we're in fight or flight, and I need you to get me out. So we go to the fastest way to get out, or we freeze and we get stuck there. So whichever way that's happening, start becoming aware of what is happening in your life. And I think one of the other ones that we talked about was like really sensitive to noise and losing things and feeling like you've got brain fog all the time, or feeling the need to like control everything around you and like make everything perfect. And if it's not, it's just all a disaster and then you explode everywhere. So if you're relating to any of these, know that it's completely normal. It's such a normal behavior when you're feeling dysregulated. But what matters is that you bring it into your awareness and you start knowing that there are other ways and much healthier ways for you to be able to cope with them. Because if you do, then that sabotaging behavior will stop and you will be able to create a much healthier association and pattern. And that will lead to obviously more happiness and joy in your life. And I know that's what you want, that inner peace and just feeling in control of your day. Okay. And that's not in control of your external world, that's just in control of who you are and how you're feeling that day. And so I started to experiment with things that might work and tools you might see inside my program if you're doing coaching with me, but also it's inside my free training as well, where it actually looks at emotional regulation and whether that's something that may be beneficial to you. So if you haven't already, make sure you download that free series. I'll drop the link below. But the things that I found super helpful may differ to other people. And this is so important because you can get all the advice out there, but for you, it's really about trying new healthy things that feel like they work for you. But these are my top favorites that I found to be the most helpful in moments. And they really do depend on where you are and what's going on and what's being triggered. But I want to pass them over to you and you can give them a try. And then also in the comments below, drop what you find helpful when you're feeling completely dysregulated. Have you got any healthy tips and tricks for this community to help them overcome that as well? So the first one was my breath. I had to realize in that moment, bring it into my awareness by acknowledging I was dysregulated and just focusing on my breath. Most people in panic really struggle to do this. This is one of the hardest skills to do. So if you are struggling, that's okay. Doing some breath work and things like that will help you to do that a little bit easier. Another thing that I used was ice cold water, and this is from multiple areas of science that you don't have to like do an ice bath or anything like that. You don't have to go crazy, but cold therapy is one of the most amazing ways to regulate your way. And for my daughter, it's really just putting her hands or her face in a really cold bowl of water or splashing her face. And we do the same. So we started doing that together. When we're feeling dysregulated, we step aside and we move away and we just get the cold water. It shocks your system back into control and allows you to kind of take that first breath, because you can't help yourself but take that breath when you're kind of, that was intense, and then breathe and then affirm. Remember that your body is telling you that you are unsafe. It is saying that everything's out of control and we're not going to be okay, and I need you to do something about it, fight or flight quickly. And we need to let it know that this is a safe environment and you are okay. So I just have an affirmation that says, you are safe, you're okay, you're doing a great job, just breathe. And really focusing on, I really do try and move away from whatever area I'm in, whether that's with another person, whether that's, in conflict, whether that is feeling overstimulated by my children, nagging and going off and doing all the things, whether that is frustration at myself for not, doing the things right. It's move myself away, have kind of a bit of a shock therapy if I need it, if I'm really, really panicked. If not, and I feel like I can get control of my breath, then breathe and affirm my way through until I breathe and affirm that I'm safe, bring myself back to that level of feeling a little bit more in control of my body, and then moving either back into that situation if I feel like I can handle that, or parking it until a little bit later to come back and work through those things and what came up. But I hope you find this video really helpful. And if you love the content, make sure you like or also share it with someone that may need to hear this message today. If not, have a beautiful Wednesday as ever. Thank you so much for the support, and I will see you next week. Bye.